speak about something?
We'll do it at the very end, okay? Okay, that takes us into, we'll have a beer board, call to order, approve the minutes. Then we'll go into our regular meeting. We'll have the minutes for March 26th. Then we'll have the trustees report for March 26th. Any questions on either of those? Okay, I'm gonna go out of order a little bit. We've got a gentleman from the DA's office that's gonna explain what that is. It's number 5. I'm gonna move that up to number 1. And go see his child step off.
I appreciate y'all letting me, I guess, address you out of order. My name is Jed Bassett. I'm with the District Attorney's Office. I've been with Russell Johnson for going on 9 years now. Among my responsibilities is I handle criminal court for Meigs and Loudoun County. I've handled the criminal court prosecutions here in Meigs for about the last, like I said, 8.5, 9 years. General Johnson could not be here tonight, so he asked me to step in and try to explain.
Turn your mics.
I need to speak up.
No, you're fine, I just didn't get theirs turned on.
To explain a proposal that he has submitted to the county commission. This is a proposal that he is presenting to the county commission of all the districts of all the counties in our district, which includes Morgan County, Roane County, Meigs County, and Loudoun County. This is a proposal that's already been approved by Morgan and Roane County, and he is now placing it in front of the commission here in Meigs County and also the commission in Loudoun County. Essentially what the proposal is, it's a way for the District Attorney General's office to try to get a little bit of extra discretionary income. We are funded by the state, and so our funding comes directly from them. Last summer, the General Assembly passed a bill, and I believe you all got emails on it. I don't remember the exact chapter it was, the public chapter. But essentially what it did is it allowed us to gain a way to get funded similar to the Public Defender's Office. One of the ways that the Public Defender's Office gets additional funding is every court case that comes through the county, there's a $12.50 item in the court costs that goes directly to the Public Defender's Office. My understanding, the way it works, it gets sent from Darrell to the state, and then the state administers that money and gives it back to the public defenders. The DA's office does not have something akin to that, and that's essentially what that bill last year did, is it put us on equal footing with the public defender's office, assuming that you all were to grant this proposal. The way that the DA's office currently gets additional funding is through what they call the Fraud and Economic Crime Fund, and that's usually a $75 charge that would be attached as a court cost, as part of the plea agreement for any kind of theft or fraudulent check, burglary, those types of crimes. There's an additional charge that we can make pursuant to the plea agreement that would be that $75 charge. When that gets collected, that goes to help with the additional funding. Unfortunately, there's not very many theft cases, relatively speaking, and so it does put us on a little bit of a disadvantage with the public defenders are funded. And so this would essentially do away with that Fraud and Economic Crime Fund. There's my understanding that there's still some money left in that. That is administered by Roane County. They're the ones that kind of handle that for us. And so it would still be in place until those monies are depleted, and this would be essentially in its place. And what it would be, once again, it's $12.50 court cost that would be assessed to every criminal court that comes through, every criminal court case. That $12.50 would go from Meigs County to the state. They would administer it at the state level. As part of the proposal that General Johnson has laid out, Meigs County specifically would get 5% of that $12.50. I'm not really sure how many cases come through here. I don't know how much that would necessarily be, and try to figure it out for you, if something you really want to know. It would be 5% that would come back to help fund Banks County as well, and that's something he has included in that proposal. I know I kind of ran through that quick. I don't know if there's anything that I need to expound on, or questions that you guys may have for me in regards to this.
This is just to really pay for the public defenders, or,
Actually for the district attorney, the public defenders are paid for, through a similar fund, but this would basically put us on equal footing with the public defender's office. One thing that I would like to point out, and I believe this was something that General Johnson had indicated, is, the public defenders, they only handle probably 30, maybe 40% of the cases in criminal court. They probably handle 40 or 50% of the cases in general sessions court. They don't handle any of the cases in child support, and they don't handle, and they handle probably similarly 40 or 50% of the juvenile cases. The DA's office handles 100% of the criminal court cases, 100% of the general sessions cases, and 100% of the child support cases, and 100% of the juvenile cases. So, like I said, this would essentially put us on equal footing with the public defender's office.
are we gonna lose any funding, giving that money to y'all instead of keeping it, or?
No, sir. No, sir.
No effect to the county.
No negative effect to the county. Like I said, there's a 5% of that would go to you all, so there'd be no adverse effect.
Eliminate the $75 on particular cases, but adding the $12.50 to every case.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're going for a lower amount, but in return, you get a bigger amount.
That's the idea, yes.
At no new money for the taxpayers or Macon County in general,
63 cents a case.
I would think it's a no-brainer.
It goes back to the county.
Yeah.
I would think it's
Do
a
it.
no-brainer.
Okay.
And
Any more questions from anyone? Any commission? Thank you.
Thank you once again. I appreciate y'all letting me come and explain that to you.
God bless all.
Goodbye.
Well, and God willing, we'll be great. Thank you all.
Okay, back on the agenda. T-Dot land plot, old business. Everyone, you update that?
There's a 40-page minor thing, looks like it just come in yesterday. Now, I'm assuming none of y'all have even looked at it yet. I read it 3 times, and I've got a few notes. I hope you all have a chance to look at it before next week. But last month, there was some concern about what had possibly took place in the past at the T-Dot site behind the jail, and so it appears there was a release of petroleum confirmed in March of 1990, and there was an environmental assessments conducted by an organization called Law Engineering and Southern Environmental Consultants. TDEC comes in and they open a case. As a part of the cleanup, there were 20 test wells put in place at that site in between 1990 and 1993, and those were monitored twice a year up until 2004 to measure everything that's in this report. You can see every month they put down data. There was a corrective action plan submitted. There were 2 diesel tanks and 2 gasoline underground storage tanks removed in April of '96. And the case was closed, but they wanted it open for monitoring until further notice. So it was monitored from 1997 until 2004, and that's when a company that you see on that first page, Quantum Environmental Engineering Services, recommended to TDEC that it be closed because the samples from the test wells were still showing clear up until 2004. So they closed the case. If the commission wanted, and that's 21 years ago, so a lot could happen in 21 years. But if the commission wanted another assessment called a Phase 1 environmental site assessment, TDEC has given the Southeast Development District, and that's the folks that write our grants and that do our planning and zoning, technical support. The Development District has a grant from TDEC to do these assessments. And the Development District is willing to pay for someone to come in and check that site again 21 years later. It will require a signature from someone with TDOT to stay on the land, we don't. But I feel like I could get them to do that, if that's something that the commission would want done, or if you feel like that assessment that you've got right here is ample. I don't know what the feeling of the commission is, how good you feel about it, how bad you feel about it, but, we can have some more studies done on that if the commission wants.
I've got people asking, I think Cypher, we're gonna let them have some property. I think they're gonna expand. Is that not right?
I've not heard about that. You talking about maybe with the, Economic Community Development Board buying more property out there?
Yeah, it was in their minutes.
Okay.
And I think, was it 20,000 or 25,000? I think it's 20.
25,000, I think.
It might have been 25, but it was 20 or 25. So, we're gonna give them $100,000 worth of land for this over here. I'm not in favor for the land swap sale.
Actually, I'm gonna leave.
We can vote on that next week and just, we haven't finalized the property transfer from the Economic Community Development Board, so we can, throw a white flag in it now and just,
I think we can make a better deal, not, we wouldn't like to see us have the property, but, money-wise, I mean, that's, it's a 5 for 1, that's a little rough. I'm more concerned about what's under the ground out there, if we ever did have to do something to it, start digging on it, or are we gonna hit? We'd have to have that other assessment, and have it on that.
Well, what does it hurt to just go ahead and do it? If
Well-
Southeast Development is willing to pay for it.
TDOT would have to acknowledge they would allow this done, because they still own the property. And, I didn't get a lot of pushback from them when, Adam Castile's a young fella. He was probably not even born when this whole tanks were removed, so he done some digging and scratching and sent me this that you've got right now in an email, and it just landed yesterday. He wasn't aware all this had took place, so, I think I could get him or someone from TDOT to sign off and allow us to do this assessment if you wanted another one done. Can I ask, sir?
I say after, well, I don't know how close I'm going next week as far as if it would be favorable to do the land swap or not.
I think we should vote on that before we do anything else.
Yeah, before you do anything,
If we move forward with it or squash it.
the biggest part of the people are saying it's not a good swap. $100,000, 5 for 1, I mean, you know. I just say you just want to vote on it.
Everybody on board with that? Okay. Next item, local option sales tax referendum. I'm aware that there was a resolution in last month's meeting. agenda. I was made aware of it. So we have two new resolutions. One is a 50-50, and I'll let Mayor explain this if you'd like. One is a 50-50, 50 to schools, 50 to sanitation. And the other resolution, and I put both copies in there, we'll have another resolution that's 50% to the school system, 25% to sanitation, and 25% to debt services. The way our sanitation budget is struggling to keep up with influx of people, that's where I'm leaning.
Cause that's one of our biggest holes we keep sinking.
Is that gonna make a dent in it?
Oh, yeah, that would help. I mean, if it passes, it's got to pass, the referendum has to pass before we'll see any benefit at all, but yeah, that would help us a whole lot, sanitation.
So you got three copies here. The first copy is what you voted on last month, and there was some discussion after the meeting about the verbiage, and I appreciate Mr. Thornton bringing it to my attention, and there were several versions, that we looked at years ago when we were putting this up. So what you have is the two other changes, the one in red and the one in yellow would be the only difference in those two resolutions. So if you like one of them better than the other, just, we can discuss that more tonight and think about next week. If you don't change anything, then what is on top is what you voted on last month.
Which I definitely say we need to take a vote next week on one of the two options, but. Y'all be thinking about that, and we'll go next week. Any questions from any commissioners?
So we're not gonna vote next week to put it on the ballot, that's how it passed, we're gonna vote.
It's on the ballot, we just
We're
have to
gonna
get
vote
the
about the,
resolution.
When it goes for,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it can be clear. Okay. Next, we have resolution to rezone partial property from FAR to commercial. Again, this is down there at, Highway 58. What's the name of that road? Goodfield Road?
Cottonwood Ridge.
Cottonwood Ridge Road.
oh, Jim Phillips.
Jim Phillips' property, yeah.
What's going on down there? I know it, rezoned it, but, well, it's
Treatment's still the shop.
gonna be a mechanic shop down there,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I don't see that. Any questions on that portion? And again, I mean, first off, is anybody in the audience in opposition to these two zoning changes? Okay. The next one is resolution to rezone partial property. This is on 60, it's off FAR also to commercial.
Where was it at?
It's adjacent to the dollar store down there.
Next to the,
Any questions?
Well, they vote on it.
John, office buildings?
Whatever the gentleman owns it, it's gonna have one of his offices and then maybe some more retail. But basically his office building for his office.
And both of those zoning changes will be the second reading, so that'll be the final vote on those. That takes us to the trustees' request to be relieved of the 24 illegal property taxes. This is a every year occurrence. Any questions? This means that it goes to the Chancery Court, transfers to Chancery Court. Next item is approved purchasing playground equipment for the 10 Mile and Eastview Parks. have, information in the packet.
What's the difference in the price of the 4,000?
That's the same thing.
What's 4,500?
10 Mile has to have a little sidewalk added.
10 Mile already has a concrete walking trail, and in order to make their playground ADA compliant, they're gonna have to connect that playground to the existing walking trail. Eastview doesn't have a walking trail, so they don't really have to connect it. It's gonna have one, but basically that project will just involve setting the playground up, and then we'll later put a walking trail to connect it.
Have we got a date that we're gonna get?
The, lady that spoke to us at the committee meeting this week said that their lead out time was how long, Justin? 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, there's 3 weeks, and she said that once it was approved, that they could start on it as soon as, I think she said June.
Eastview gonna get a walking track too?
They will eventually.
It'll be in this project, but it probably won't be bid out until maybe, what, is the August, you say? Could we be ready by August?
I don't know if that will be ready by August, but the year end will be closed before we have.
No, I just wanna make sure they get one
Yeah.
too.
It's in the plan to have them a
One guy,
walking trail.
one guy, one get the little one.
Any further comments, questions?
There's an image, I didn't mention it, over here on the wall, for those that come in late, that is what, the playground will look like. The pad that you see that on is roughly a 40 by 60, and the numbers that you see there include the cost of the equipment, the site prep, the shipping, the installation, turnkey. Set up.
Maintenance man gonna keep tabs on it?
Yes.
Good deal.
Any questions? Next item, approve typo correction.
Hey, going back to that, I would suggest to further, with the parks, I would look into having a security camera system down there, kinda like we do over here at the city, 'cause people tear them up all the time.
That's a good idea.
No, I checked right there at the fire hall, down there at Eastview, I think they've actually got a camera set up there.
We have cameras at the
Community center, but I think that they
At
did
the
fire hall
parking
too.
lot and the, sanitation center there, and
Yeah.
kind of all around the community building. Not that we won't need additional cameras.
But I mean, that right there, basically.
Yeah, it's a big investment for us, we'll, somebody go in there and measure it.
Now, if we already got the camera system down there, it won't be near as much as an install.
Would you like to touch on that typo, please?
Yeah, so there's a letter to the commission, just explaining the typo, attached to it is a copy of the minutes from last month. We approved a budget amendment to increase the ambulance service unemployment line, and however, you can see it says 54,900 on the one last month, so that number needs to get changed. So we just need to, approve that as a typo, and that's 55,100.
Do I need to resend the motion or anything, or just?
No, I don't think that we'll have to rescind the motion, you think, just kind of.
Just do a correction.
Any questions?
Are we, is there any money changing here?
No.
That typo.
Yes, just the typo of the company. To that second page, where it's highlighted right here.
Alright.
Okay, that takes us into budget amendments. Leslie?
Budget amendment number 1 is the management, the, services. We have a final invoice that we need to pay. There is a copy of that invoice and a letter explaining the contract and the final invoices to Smith Doyle Contractors. That, line, as you can see, is the jail reserve fund. We should move that into the budget so that we can pay that final invoice. Number 2 is the mapping services, geographical systems that we have. we need to add the social security line to that one. Number three, the janitorial services, this is for here at the courthouse. We started the program this budget year to let our female inmates come over and clean the courthouse. But because we don't pass the budget until late July, we had to pay the contracted service for one more month. So we need to just increase that fund to get us through to the rest of the budget year. Number four is a reimbursement fire department grant. The commission approved this grant already and accepted it. We just need to put the money in the operating budget so that they can, go ahead and get that going. Number five is a Homeland Security grant. This is a federal grant and they're on a different schedule than us. So we actually got more money in that grant than we estimated in the budget. So this is just increasing that line for the funds that we're gonna get for that grant. Number six is the library amendment. Last month, resolution number 7, the commission approved to move $2,000 from the office supply line to the librarian line. So this is the actual budget amendment that's necessary for that approval. Number 7 is planning and zoning. That's the unemployment line. And just as a reminder, this is just an automatic percentage that comes out each pay period. So. Number 8 is general sessions. It is also the unemployment. Number 9 is Southeast Development. This is their assessment for us that they do yearly. That's to pay an invoice for that. And number 10 is moving the funds that will be needed for the playground equipment for that grant. Are there any questions on any of those?
Everybody okay with that? All budget amendments? Okay. Number 10 is a medical examiner's contract.
We do this contract for 3 years at a time now. It is at the end of this budget year, so we did a request for qualifications and proposals. We had one turned in, and that is locally here, Dr. Roberts. He's currently our medical examiner and has been for many years. So, the contract is included, the increased qualifications, everything's included in the packet for that. And it will be a 10% increase in the cost over the last contract.
Is it 10% each year, or
This is
3
a-
consecutive years, or is it 10% for
The way that this one read is we pay this quarterly. So on that letter that's from him, for the 3-year contract, $43.58.16 per quarter.
per quarter?
And that is the provision of the last quarter's contract.
Any questions?
Before we move on, I'd like to take a look at the liability section.
You good with the mayor?
Yeah, I want to compare it with the Gillette Act and stuff like that.
Ask you to get with the mayor before next meeting, if you get it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and ask any questions from the audience at this time. Bill, anything?
Yeah, I was wondering about the 62 cents that we're gonna get from each case that, $12.50 is gonna be assessed to. How much money are we losing from that 75 hire them. Or tell them no.
The other counties didn't ask for it.
Yeah. They agreed to it. It passed legislation, I think, last year, in 2025. It was voted on by state legislators, and they agreed to do this.
Darrell Davis isn't here to speak, but I think there was a little pushback on him, and Attorney General put in the 5% to sweeten the pot.
Yeah, well, we're getting 62 cents out of the 12.50 and $11 or something is going everywhere else. I don't think that's right. If it's citizens of Meigs County, even if they're criminals, they should be supporting somebody else somewhere.
Darrell said that it will make cases easier on his office, because he won't have to go through individual cases and pick out which one it actually applies to. It'll be a flying dollar. Yeah, I know. That's just what he told me today.
I'm sure it'll make life easier for him. He ain't got to choose to say, hey, this one's got $75, this and that. All of them get $12.50 now. If it's not benefiting us one, anything, I don't see why we should do it at all. Especially when it's just going to support some other county.
So I can say what the statute says it's for, subsection C, all costs collected by county government pursuant to this section must be used for providing support services for the purpose of promoting public safety at the sole discretion of the district attorney general for that county's respective judicial district. We're part of the 4 county districts.
Exactly. No, like we're getting short in the deal. They can just do whatever they want to with that money, not put another penny into Meigs County other than 62 cents. Because it's their sole discretion.
It's 62 cents that we hadn't been getting.
Any other comments from the audience? Before we move on? Okay, that takes us into notaries. We have 3. That takes us into informational. We have mayor newsletter, sanitation committee minute update, or meeting update. And zoning report. Economic development board meeting minutes. Any commissioners have anything they would like to discuss? We have a thing, Cherokee removal, Cherokee,
Trail to your state park.
Cherokee what?
Cherokee Trail to your state park.
Right, Cherokee Trail State Park, 5:30 to 7, Monday, I think.
But they finally taken it over to get it filled.
Yeah.
Are we?
Before this year ends, yeah.
That's this Monday.
It's gonna be a community meeting where they'll have some images down there and some kind of show folks what they're planning on doing. And before we close, as of this morning, we had 17 requests from architect firms to see our RFQs. I've not had one turned in, but we've had a lot of interest, so when we cast that net, there've been a lot of people seeing it, so. We have until early next month for the deadline to get those turned in, so next month we should be able to report, or maybe have some RFQs for you all to look at.
Anybody else got anything? Meeting adjourned.
I was hoping we were going to get an update on the sanitation.
I can do that before we leave, if you like, or I can dismiss them and tell you.
Well, they're all ready to leave, but I'll take her.
Okay.
Sanitation.